Mercator Dialogue and Asylum and Migration. You're involved in this research project. What is it aiming to achieve?
We're aiming to achieve a broader dialogue between academic research and academics in general and the broader public audience. And in this day and age, we feel that there is a need to debunk some of the false narratives that are being put forward by politicians or certain policymakers and provide the broader public with fact-based and evidence-based research that helps them understand what are the consequences of migration and what are the consequences of asylum seekers coming in large numbers to Europe.
We've just heard a presentation by somebody from the International Monetary Fund about the benefits of migration. Why do you think that that message isn't reaching the public at large? I mean, if it is so clear, why are people supporting things like Brexit because they're afraid of immigration and Trump's policies?
Yes, I think what you're getting at here is that on the one hand, we clearly have these economic benefits from migration. There are many studies that show that there is a positive effect of having in-migration into your country on the economic performance and on economic output. On the other hand, migration is a very emotional topic that doesn't only concern economic factors. It also has this very broad social dimension. So it is easy to tell people and to tell people that migrants are bad for their cultural identity, to instill fear into them, to scaremonger and have them vote for certain political parties without taking the economic benefits into account. So what we are trying to do is trying to come up with studies and make these studies accessible to the broad public that show the economic benefits, and at the same time also look at the social factors and the social effects of migration on societies.
There are two ways that people feel very threatened by migration. One of the concerns is, particularly among people who have low skills, is that they're going to be priced out of the labour market, replaced by cheap foreign labour. Is that a legitimate fear?
This is a legitimate fear to a certain extent in the short term. When you have a large influx of low-skilled migrants, it might be the case that some parts of the native-born population in the host country could be displaced. However, in the medium to long term, there is no such effect. This is mostly due to what we call the skill complementarity. So having a large influx of migrants of low skills allows the host country's population to upgrade their skills to a certain level and take on different jobs. So there is not a limited amount of jobs available in an economy. When there is an influx of low-skilled migrants, new opportunities become available.
And high-skilled workers, we're constantly hearing in Europe that we need more to attract more high-skilled workers. Are we doing enough?
I think we can say at the moment that no, maybe in Europe we are not doing enough. But we've had some changes, for example, to the blue card scheme that was introduced in 2009 that turned out not to be a success because there were vast differences between member states and how they implemented it. But that has been revised last year, and it remains to be seen whether the new blue card scheme in its revised version can be more successful in attracting immigrants from third countries.
We are still dealing with a lot of migration, especially refugees leaving countries where there is an ultra-violent conflict. What more can be done to help those people integrate into the labour market?
So, yeah, there's this broad understanding that we need to integrate refugees as quickly as possible into our labour markets, also to allow them access to our society and make them part of social life. Yes, there are a lot of initiatives across all the EU member states at the moment trying to integrate these migrants. It remains to be seen which of these are particularly successful and which aren't. We are still in the process of evaluating some of them. This is very much necessary in order to allocate funds efficiently to the right projects and to the right active labour market policies.
Are there some basic rules of thumb? I mean, is it getting immediate access to the labour market, getting particular training that is necessary to help them integrate? What can we do?
So there are some labor market measures that seem to work in order to integrate refugees. One of them is, for example, providing language education right from the start when they arrive, as soon as possible. The other one, another scheme that seemed to be quite successful is the so-called mentorship program, where refugees are assigned to, for example, a fellow countryman that already works in the country to mentor them through the whole process of integration. But at the same time, we have to be careful not to have a one-size-fits-all approach, because, of course, the refugees that come to our countries are not a homogeneous group. There are vast differences across these refugees. So we have to watch out to have tailor-made approaches that at the same time are efficient.